Have you ever been in a match where you miss one easy shot and then suddenly you can't hit anything for the rest of the game?
Oh, absolutely. Your brain just turns to static. You go from playing your main to feeling like you've never touched the keyboard before. It's the worst.
Welcome to Calm for Gamers, the podcast that helps you level up your mental game. I'm your host, Laura, and
I'm Alec. Great to be here.
today we're talking about tilt, but not just as an emotion. We're going to explore why tilt isn't just anger, it's your nervous system taking over. And we'll give you some practical tools to reset fast and get back in the game. Just a quick disclaimer, we are not medical professionals, and this podcast is for informational purposes only. It is not a substitute for professional therapy or medical advice.
So, Laura, let's dive in. Most gamers think of tilt as just being mad. You get ganked, your teammate makes a bad call, you lose a fight you should have won, and the rage sets in.
Exactly. But what's happening underneath that is biological. It's a primal survival mechanism. When your brain perceives a threat, and in gaming, that threat can be losing rank, letting your team down, or even just failing, it triggers your amygdala.
The amygdala, that's like the brain's alarm system, right?
Precisely. It screams danger and floods your body with adrenaline and cortisol. This is the classic fight or flight response. Your heart rate increases, your muscles tense, and your breathing gets shallow. You're physically preparing to either fight a predator or run away from it.
Okay, that makes so much sense. That feeling of your hands getting cold or shaky, your jaw clenching, that's not just being angry, that's a physical response.
Right, and here's the crucial part for gamers. When your fight or flight system is active, your brain diverts energy away from your prefrontal cortex.
The prefrontal cortex, that's your smart part of the brain.
That's your hub for rational thought, strategy, complex decision making, and fine motor control. So, in the middle of a high stakes match, the very part of your brain you need for strategy and aiming effectively gets a system wide debuff.
A debuff, I love that. So you're literally not playing with your full mental toolkit. That's why you start making bad calls, chasing kills you shouldn't, or missing shots you'd normally hit. Your brain has basically decided that survival is more important than hitting a headshot.
You've got it. And this creates a spiral. You play worse, which makes you more frustrated, which triggers more of that fight or flight response, and you play even worse. The solution isn't just to calm down. You have to give your nervous system a signal that the threat is gone. You have to manually turn off the alarm.
Okay, so how do we do that? How do we hit the reset button mid-game?
This brings us to our first tool, which I call the 90-second reset. The fastest way to control your nervous system is through your breath, specifically using a technique called the physiological sigh.
Physiological sigh. Sounds technical.
It's incredibly simple, and it's something your body does automatically when you're falling asleep or crying. It's two sharp inhales through your nose, followed by a long, slow exhale through your mouth. So, like that? Exactly. The two inhales pop open the tiny air sacs in your lungs, the alveoli, which can collapse under stress. This allows for a more efficient offload of carbon dioxide. The long exhale then activates your parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and digest system. Doing this just once or twice sends a direct signal to your brainstem that you are safe. It slows your heart rate and physically begins to turn off that alarm. You can do it between rounds, during a respawn timer, anytime you have a few seconds. It's quiet, it's fast, and it works.
That's a great hardware reset. But what about the software? My thoughts are usually racing at that point, thinking about the mistake I just made or how the match is lost.
That's where our second tool comes in, setting one controllable goal. When you're tilted, your brain is spiraling on things you can't control, your teammates' actions, lag, the outcome of the entire match. It feels overwhelming and powerless.
Totally, you feel like nothing you do matters.
So, to break that spiral, you need to shrink your focus down to one tiny thing that you have 100% control over. It shouldn't be about winning, it should be about process.
So instead of we have to win this team fight, it might be my only goal is to land my ultimate.
Even smaller, it could be my only goal is to stay behind my tank until I see the enemy jungler on the map somewhere else. That's it.
Perfect. See how that feels different? You've taken this huge, messy, frustrating problem and distilled it into one simple, achievable action. You've regained control. you've reset.
Yeah, it actually feels like a strategy now instead of just chaos and anger. Body, then mind. It's a combo move to counter the tilt debuff. I like it.
And that brings us to our third tool for when you need an even more powerful circuit breaker. It's called sensory grounding. The idea is to pull your attention out of the chaotic, frustrating thoughts in your head and anchor it in the physical world.
Sensory grounding. How does that work? Is it like splashing water on your face?
That can definitely work, but this is a specific mental exercise. A popular method is called the 5-4-3-2-1 technique. You take a moment to deliberately notice 5 things you can see, 4 things you can physically feel, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste.
So during my respawn, I'd literally look around my room and think, okay, I see my monitor, my keyboard, my mouse, my water bottle, and the poster on the wall. Then I'd feel my chair, the desk, my feet on the floor, and the mouse in my hand. It seems almost too simple.
That's the beauty of it. Tilting is a form of rumination. Your brain is stuck in a loop about the past mistake or the future outcome. This exercise forces your brain into the present sensory moment. It activates different neural pathways, breaking the rumination loop and calming the amygdala. You can't be focused on the feeling of your feet on the floor and be angry about that missed shot at the same time.
These tools are fantastic for in the moment resets. But what about long term? How do we become more tilt proof over time?
That's an excellent question. Long-term prevention is all about building nervous system resilience. The foundation of that is self-awareness. You need to identify your specific triggers. Is it a particular in-game event, like getting spawn camped? Is it a teammate's comment, or is it something outside the game, like having a stressful day at work?
For me, it's repetitive mistakes. If I get caught out of position the same way twice, that's when I start to boil. Just knowing that's my trigger gives me a heads up. It's like an early warning system. Okay, Alec, you've died the same way twice. You are now at high risk for tilt. Time to breathe.
Exactly. And beyond self-awareness, general physical health plays a huge role. Things like getting enough sleep, staying hydrated, and eating well aren't just good for your body. They regulate your nervous system. If you jump into a ranked match when you're exhausted and running on caffeine, your fuse is already going to be much, much shorter.
It's a powerful reminder that our in game performance is directly connected to our out of game life. Taking care of your mind and body is the ultimate long term strategy.
So let's do a final recap for our listeners. We have 3 powerful science-backed tools to pull yourself out of a tilt spiral. First, the physiological sigh to quickly calm your body's fight-or-flight response. Second, setting one controllable goal to bring your rational brain back online. And third, the 5-4-3-2-1 sensory grounding technique to anchor yourself in the present moment. That's all the time we have for today. Try these tools in your next gaming session and notice a difference it makes not just in your performance, but in how you feel while playing. Thank you for tuning in to Calm for Gamers. Play smart and be kind to your nervous system. We'll see you in the next one.